Watch looking like he broke the bank, but he promised me he's not. He said he got started from his wife and a pop's watch, face so fat the band had stretch marks. It shines so bright that you can see it from Mars. Man, he blinded me, reflecting headlights from the cars. He's got to be a rapper, baller, or a movie star, but nah, he's too humble to be all of the above. So he said, my name is Trap. Oh, cause you bees in the trap. Nah, it ain't even like that, and he tilted his bull's cap. Introduced me to his wife, and she had one too. Wrist game so cold that she could build igloos out of nothing. They legit, they even bless their kids. Man, when they out standing in the road, they look like 4G out of rims. Tight like Tim's on a New York.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hope everybody's doing good this morning, man. Yeah, this is highly unlikely. Your boy normally don't do early morning anything as far as vlogging is concerned. Let me check and make sure my sound is right. Some action. What's up, Ken? Seeing folks in the chat. Send me comment. What's going on, DK? What's up, Dale? All right. So my sound is good. Okay, today I just wanted to actually come on here to address a few things. Welcome to Black History Month. Today I am wearing a flossing hoodie. And I tell you what, I just giving a lot of respect and honor and a big, man, like just a love bomb on my brother, man, Tony White, because after talking to him about, like once you put the watches down, you know what I'm saying? Like just talking to him and just listening to this man, he's about his children. He's about, you know what I'm saying, evolving to the next level and just matter. Like his life matters. You know what I'm saying? He want to matter just like anybody else. So, and I can guarantee you this isn't about to turn into a Black Lives Matter rally or anything on the channel. But I do want to address a few things. In the past few days, since I've been, I announced that I'm going to be doing Black History Month stuff, talked about Martin Luther King and the watch, talked about Benjamin Banneker. Tonight, I'm going to have MyBlack Univ3rs3 on, and we're going to be talking about, how he got started, what he's doing on YouTube, as well as there's a lot of Black companies that I didn't know about. I did some research, and I was like, wow, so he's going to enlighten us on some things tonight. Can't wait for that. What's up, Coco T? Hold on, let me get into this chat real quick. We got my brother Kenny. I was just about to call you. Good morning. What's going on, my sister? That's another one, man. Shout out to 757. Two beautiful couples over there, man. And like beautiful, like that whole aura is beautiful. What's up, Dale? We got Simeon here with DK, for those that don't know. Thanks for letting me know. The sound is good. I'm excited about this month, Trap. I am too. What's up, man? And that's what y'all look. I'm doing a show with Box and Marcus from Caleb Moore. That thumbnail will be complete today. I have to talk with them before I actually do some other stuff. But yeah, we have a show next week. It's gonna be impactful. I honestly I can't wait for it. It's gonna be amazing. But let me just address this. Now, those of you guys that have been on this channel know that, for 3 years, I've been talking about the beauty of watches, collecting watches, primarily Invicta, Aragon. I've been getting into some micro brands here and there. I found out that there's some black brands out there, and we'll talk about that tonight. But the biggest thing I want to address this morning is there was more. When I get more than 3 questions about what Black history is from somebody non-Black, I have to, I said, you know what? I talk to these people individually, but let me just address this for anybody, because one of my expectations for this, to be honest, watching YouTube, Coco, I watched the Big Belly mukbang, like the Church Chicken mukbang last night, and I thought that was awesome. I've seen all the love and stuff that people was giving in the chat last night, and I just watched it. So I'm looking at from a standpoint of how will our information, our content be pushed out. And sometimes we can sit and, anybody that's content creator will agree, you don't understand it all the time. What's more popular, what's getting pushed out. And I've actually been looking at, so far, you're going to be seeing people dropping Black History Moment content, right? Some of it is getting like 3 views. Some is getting 12 views. Some may get 300 views. I saw one video that was posted last year, and it was talking about Black history, and it was only 486 views. I'm like, that's crazy. But it's not popular, I guess, for YouTube to push that out because it's not the latest watch. And I feel like if I had the resources and bought, let's say, a Patek and a Rolex, and let's just throw in a Cartier. If I bought those 3 watches and I posted it on here, I believe that those videos will do better than any other video that I ever had, that I've ever done. And that's just to say that I don't think that, what I'm saying, some certain stories are going to be just kind of like, all right, just your local populace to get it. People that people that know people that know you. And I think that's as far as it goes. That's what I'm just interpreting. But let me address something. Black history is not always going to be about the beauty of the success of our people. Because to be honest, man, let's knock some heavy hitters out the way. We talked about Martin Luther King, right? And I don't know how you guys interpreted Martin Luther King. Honestly, Martin Luther King versus Malcolm X. Malcolm X was a man of action, right? He was like, I ain't taking it. I ain't standing for it, and I'll fight you back. Regardless, I'm going to bring information to the people. Martin Luther King, a man of action. The man been to jail almost 30 times and been shot at, stabbed, and all kind of stuff, right? House blown up. Both men in their own right attack civil rights in their own way, right? So there's always been this argument in between who was better, who was right. Martin Luther King was too weak, and Malcolm X was strong. You know what I'm saying? He was a better leader. Like there's an argument, a constant argument, which you can debate that. That makes up for a great debate between anybody. I don't care who you are. But the point of the matter is they were both fighting for something that we know in this country has kept us below poverty level, and that is hatred. So Black History Month is not going to be all about the warm and fuzzies. As a matter of fact, I'm going to keep it, a whole buck, as my man would say, which is in the building. Hold on, before I make that point. What's up, Kesha? Kesha Comedy said, yo, thank you for being in here. I've been watching your content. Oh my gosh, dude, I've been watching your content, man. And y'all, please go over there. Like, I don't even know her, but just go check her content out, man. If I got any moderators in here, please drop her link so you can please. Look, like I said, I don't know her, but you have to go and check her out, man. Wow. Man, I'm honored that you even here. Big facts. Black history gets nasty, but it needs to be heard. So continuing what I'm saying is I did when I did that segment yesterday on Benjamin Banneker, right? I just kind of breezed through it, but you have to know the whole thing. There's so much history about that, man, especially when you get to Thomas Jefferson and what happened with us, right? In this whole Constitution that we live by, this whole Constitution, I'm like, yo, oh man, my girl Joy just walked in. What's going on? Hello, world. Oh man, much love, Joy. And I have not. Now this is crazy. I'm representing my people today, so I got on a flossing shirt, right? This is black on, and then underneath this shirt, the grass is greener here. Yeah, so I got on Be the Difference clothing. Like, yeah. I'm shrouded in my people. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I'm gonna get. I'm just kind of geeked a little bit that y'all in here right now. Um, welcome to Be the Difference. Yeah, thank you for welcoming her in. Here's the ugly part about it, and I want to answer the questions. I really want to go into detail as to the people that ask me these questions off camera, off this, you know what I'm saying, just on the phone or through text message. Um, what is our heritage? What is it to be black? You don't understand, what it is, what the month was made for, and the fact that let me just talk to the elephant in the room. The fact that we have 28 days to celebrate our heritage, to let the world know what has happened to us up to this point and continue to happen to us at this point. Hence, in this thing, right, even this whole hoodie, symbolic. At one point, if you saw a black man in a hoodie, he's up to no good. He's on the block. He's selling dope. He's, you know what I'm saying? He's a criminal, right? Criminal. Keep that word in the back of your mind. Criminal. It was defined. That word criminal was actually a push to keep us enslaved, to keep us below poverty level, to keep us away from being prosperous in this country where we're supposed to be free. Now, let me get back to Benjamin Banneker, and I'll come back. And it's going to tie right back into it. Let's see, Kesha, why is it chilling? Thank you, man. Thank you. Appreciate you, DK. Benjamin Banneker, born a free man, right? But here's the crazy thing about that free word is how can I celebrate as a man, as a human being, as you see with my skin color, even though his parents were like they were freed slaves, and you know that there's slavery and bondage going on around you, man. Like our people being murdered, like in cold blood. I believe it was Cliff last night had mentioned about. He said, "Hey, bro, don't forget to mention that women were being raped during slavery." And I'm not failing to mention anything, bro. Let me tell you, and this is for anybody that's listening. You know how bad that is, man, for a man and a woman back in that time. Back in that time, Benjamin Banneker, he experienced all this stuff. So he's like, yo, you got slave owners that are not only whipping and mishandling these people, but you going in and taking the wives. Now, just so happened if a husband and wife made, because that wasn't even always the case. You know what I'm saying? When we were sold as slaves, families was ripped apart, babies was used. And I'm going to tell you the harsh something that I found out maybe 3 years ago, that down in Florida, whites were using babies as alligator bait. I'm like, yo, how bad or how treacherous can you be to use a infant that's kicking and screaming in this water just to get this alligator to come over there? I mean, you know what? The thing about it, the nature of an alligator, you touch that water, you come close to the water, he gonna come to you because he hungry. I said, man, that was so demeaning, and all it takes. I mean, I'm not like a Steve Irwin. I don't mess with animals, and I'm not no dog whisperer. But I know I've watched enough of these National Geographic shows and all this other stuff to know that if anything touch water, alligators gonna come because he's hungry. They're hungry. So the fact that they they did not value us as period. And Benjamin Banneker, he witnessed that. He writes a letter telling Jefferson, hey, as far as your slaves, they need to be treated better. Hold on, let me get into the comments real quick because I don't want to miss anything. We're allowed to get married without master's permissions. Yes. Let me see. What's you stuffing inside furniture? Please don't get me started. No, get started, sis. And get started. Get started because I want you guys to know the whole thing because I don't want you to think, I don't want anybody to think like, well, you guys only talk because I heard this. No, I'm not saying anything that I didn't hear. I heard like you guys only really speak about it during February. Well, this is the time we were allowed. Okay. You gotta understand that even though this is 2022, tell me what has changed outside of, there's like slavery is still here, that or that hatred is still here. We're not under those slavery rules as back in the day. You don't see lynches and stuff out there, but we're still broken. Our race is still broken because once slavery was abolished, then you had Jim Crow comes along. I mean, because you release these slaves out and they be like, hey, y'all can't just be sitting out here doing nothing, so you going to jail. Boom, you right back. And then here come the prison system. And tell me that the prison system isn't slavery or isn't bondage, isn't made to break. And it don't matter, like, because it's not just blacks. Poor whites are in there. And that's just, look, what they say, collateral damage. And y'all do y'all homework on this one. 1 out of 17 white males go to prison. But think about it, that has to be a good number. I mean, like, has to be the number, you know what I'm saying, in comparison to blacks. 1 out of 3 go to prison, right? I'm not making this up. This stuff I researched, because there's more whites than there are blacks. You know what I'm saying? Like, it made, like, I was reading, this was in 2017, I know, and this is old. The numbers have changed since then. But when I read this in 2017, it said that blacks and Hispanics makes up 48% of the population in America, where whites were 51%. But I heard Candace Owens said this, and y'all go back, like, there's more blacks causing trouble. There's more blacks doing blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, how is that possible, sis, when there's more whites than us? How is that possible, man? Like, and I'm gonna tell, again, I'm not trying to deviate from, the topic of why Black History Month is so important. Is it a moment of celebration? There is. There is. You know what I celebrate? Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, and even Sam Cooke. Sam Cooke was like civil rights activist, man, and he was winning the hearts over with his songs. He was telling the message through his songs, and all of these cats died for us. They died trying to push America forward, like trying to wake America up, not just America, but the world, because bigotry and hatred does nothing, man. Like, I was watching a documentary on, would you want to say something? Oh, I was watching a documentary on Janet Jackson, and y'all, I'm gonna be bouncing all over the place. Janet Jackson got scrutinized because of that whole nipple thing, right? She got held as, like, I saw a lady, just watch the documentary. It's unforgivable. It is unforgivable, right? This is what this lady said. What's up, Dale? Hold on, let me see what you said. Let me see what you said. No, it's only publicized during February. A lot of us speak about and teach our children about our history daily. True. That is true. And since that's what I had mentioned to the people that asked me, I was like, well, Black history, we talk about it all the time. But this is like a one time where it's like, boom, hey, check us out. You know what I'm saying? We got this month to, do our thing and party, whatever. It's just like when the summer party jumps out. So now, yeah, it's like summer jam or something. Hatred has to people minds. Races love to teach love. Yeah. Awesome. You got job problems. Yeah, man, bro. Hopefully, man, your time will come to an end once you get some help, man. Be praying for that. So anything about our history, like I said, it's not all sunny skies and rainbows. There has been stuff put in place, like, for example, I talked about Jim Crow. We talked about, Martin Luther King and all like the lobbyists that were fighting for our freedoms. But, like, fast forward, when you come into the 80s, man, matter of fact, under Reagan and the war on criminals, we were considered terrorists, I imagine. The word terrorist wasn't attached to us, it was criminal. And there was all these prison reforms, all this stuff that was happening, and it just kept breaking us down. It continued to break us down. But here's the thing about teaching our children, and I don't want to lose a point of why we celebrate Black history. Is it a time of celebration, or is it a time of misery? It's everything. It's all of that. And let me tell you something about Black history, and even digging in, because I want to be honest, man. What in the third day of Black history? And I'm telling you the truth. I wanted to, this morning, abandon it. I wanted to just say, you know what? I'll just play music. I'll just play some Black music for the rest of it, because I'm broke in half. The more you dig, the worse it gets. It hurts. You know what image I don't like seeing? Uh, Another reason for me wearing this hoodie is I haven't forgot about Trayvon Martin. I remember when my wife and I were in Florida when they found that man not guilty. And how many of you guys know that the gun that he had, and go look this up yourself, the gun that that man had was auctioned off. You ain't that a slap in the face? The gun he had was auctioned off. So the fact that this young man, a teenager, if you look back through the trial, please look back through the trial. If you don't know anything about Trayvon Martin, go look back through the trial. And this prosecutor has the evidence. He had like a can, an energy drink or something like that, or it may have been, I can't remember what the drink was, but I know it was a bag of Skittles. And Zimmerman shot and killed this kid. But then the crazy thing was when he was on the phone and they said, I'm listening to the tape because they play it. They said, are you following him? He said, yup. They said, you don't need to do that. Now, this stand your ground law that they got, and we're going to get into that. Oh, we're going to get into where that actually came from because I just learned where that rule, that law came from. And it wasn't nobody in Congress. It wasn't nobody sitting on the seat. But we'll talk about that. I'm not going to talk about it today. We're going to get into that. But here's the crazy part. Is that Zimmerman was able to kill I say our young baby. You never know what he could have been. You don't know what potential he had. I don't know him personally, and after so many years, that story is just pushed on. It's like they just added to the list of like, okay, there's another black guy off the street, or there's another black kid dead. Even in our communities, like, man, do you still remember Trayvon Martin? Like, and then with all the other people, then we can even go back to Emmett Till, which we're going to talk about later this year. I mean, later in the month. How was he able to walk? That's when I said our justice system is not for us. It's not for us, man. It's profitable. The justice system is a profit. It is a big profit. It's big business. You know what I'm saying? So the Constitution, in my eyes, this is just my personal opinion, is just a piece of paper that sets the rules for a certain group of people, and then it sets the tone on how you treat us. Anybody that's dark skinned, anybody that the skin. I mean, I can go into a whole bunch of terms that's being used. Like when you say the word fair skin, you're talking about like somebody light skin. But fair skin is a term that was given saying, hey, it's in the likeness of white folks. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not taking away from the beauty of white people or from the beauty of any other race. But I'm telling you, as far as my race is concerned, it's never been, as far as I've seen and experienced, has never been a picnic. Let me see what my sister's saying. But God, let him use you. Because when it's not talked about, then it can't be taught. Yes, ma'am. I promise. Listen, going back to that, it's hard for me, y'all. It's hard for me. It's hard. I'm gonna tell you why. What is so hard? When I learned about Emmett Till in high school, I didn't even know Emmett Till. I promise. Like, dude, I mean, he was born in 40s, died in 1955, I believe it was. When I read the story, and I made no, you know what, that's gone. I had the Jet magazine of Emmett Till's figure, his face. And I never forget that day that I read and learned about what happened. I cried. And then I'm going to tell you something. I was like, I can't stand white people. I said it. I never forget it. I said it. I was peed off. I was like, this is bullcrap. Like, how can he get away with this? And let me see, there was a magazine that his killers, they were talking to a magazine and they admitted to killing Emmett Till, right? Now you got this, man, handsome guy, handsome young man from Chicago, my city. And okay, let's talk about this for a second. Let's say this, and I saw the statements. They was like the way the adjectives they used, talking about the guy's his beautiful wife, blooming with beauty, and all this other bull crap. He whistled at her. Okay, let's say Emmett Till made a pass at this woman. Say, yo, even if he was like, "Ooh, girl, you look good," that was unheard of in the South. You got to go by the rules. Why in Rome you have to do as the Romans do? Does that mean that you're maliciously killed? I can say, hey, I think it'd have been wrong if you'd have slapped him. But I'd much rather you slapped him in the mouth saying, hey, boy, watch your mouth. That's not for you to do. Get out of here. That he'd have learned a lesson. He'd have been like, okay, I can't do this in the South. I'm going to take my behind back to Chicago. But no, you guys hunted him down. And then the trial say, like they say that, or the uncle, Emmett Till's uncle said, I heard a woman's voice. Now, how much proof? They found these guys not guilty, but who else was there to identify? Because they going out to this man's house to find his boy. And how can they identify Emmett Till if he wasn't there? They said, I heard a woman. Well, you can't prove. That's why I say this justice system, this law, this right, even to this day, is crap. But we're talking about history. Emmett Till's death, Emmett Till's trial, Emmett Till's whole experience was a sad day in the community. It's still a sad day as far as I'm concerned. It shows and exposes the evil of those men back in that time. That carries on to right now, because now you got people, or I ain't gonna say now, you've always had leadership. You know, we're looking forward to leadership. We're looking forward to them leading us into a new future, a new way, innovative. Let me tell you something. Black history is just telling us what happened to our people back in the day and how to walk now. Because you know what I got to tell my sons that whites can't tell they children is, if you're pulled over by the police, 10 and 2, keep your hands up there, listen to the instructions. Don't do anything else. Keep your mouth shut and answer the question. Answer the question. Now, is there a guarantee that improves your survival rate? That improves it. I'm not gonna say greatly, but it improves it, because if he looks, it just depends on what he's feeling that day. If he got a quota, like I know the cops, you guys heard the first of the month or the last day of the month or last week of the month, they got to make a ticket quota. They got to pull over some folks. Well, there's a quota on us. Are we being hunted down? Being exterminated? We're not hunted. Like, they ain't got to hunt. It's easy. Like, okay, let me, boom, there goes somebody right there. It's just easy shooting fish in a barrel. And I'm telling you, you know what? I got something for the person that argued that, because I'm going to tell you a story that somebody argued with me about. And it happened to me. Immediately, you are guilty until proven innocent, even though they want you to believe the opposite. Most definitely. Where Brooklyn at? Where Brooklyn at? What's going on? Man, I love seeing your name in there, man. I love seeing your name in there. Thank you so much for being here. Jose, what's up, man? Let me get into the comments because I missed out. Good morning, good morning. Hey, y'all, Jose is going to be on the show, man, on the 20th. Me and him doing our thing together. And y'all be looking for that. Promotions for that will be coming up Monday through next Friday. Let's see who else here. Painful. His story will live in our hearts forever. 14 years of age. Right. So let me tell you guys a story. You know, I was raised in Chicago. I got in trouble with a gang, and I wouldn't join the gang, and got my bike taken away from me. I got my bike back and take off back to the house, and they chase me. Get to the house. I run in the house. I threw my bike down. I come back out, and they taking my bike away. Stab dude in his back. Bam. Dude falls down. I get like a slap on the wrist, because my godfather, the guy that actually introduced me to watches, was a police chief, and he got me out of trouble. You know what I'm saying? So I got a one-way ticket, man. I got my get out of jail free card, right? Fast forward, my mom she sent me to Gary, Indiana. I went to go live with my family, my other family, my brothers and my grandma. I'll tell you guys more about my background at a later date. But just want to tell you, in Gary, the crime rate was so high. It was nothing. I remember they had this little festival out in Glen Park where they put up the Ferris wheel, and it was just like cotton candy, all kind of stuff in this long street, like in Gleason Park. And we go out there and have fun every year. First year, I want to say like 2 people got shot. I was on the Ferris wheel and they were shooting, and the Ferris wheel dude cut out, so we stuck at the top. And all pow, 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 pow. And I'm seeing people drop, right? The people that dropped didn't die. They got hit. But then one cat got shot. Boom. He leans over. He's done. So at the end of that, I think it was like 3 people died. The next year, same thing. I went out there, didn't get on the Ferris wheel because I had a phobia. I was like, I ain't getting on there because, you know what I'm saying? Anything may jump off. And it jumped off. Like, I want to say 5 or 6 people got killed out there. I left. That third year, I didn't even go. I said, I'm cool. 9 people died. And it was a number of people got shot. So the murder rate was just ridiculous. And I want to say this was 1994. I want to say it was 1994 where they had something like a martial law for us. Like, so now they had Indianapolis police, Boone County, like all these police officers came to help out the Gary cops. They some place loaned us a helicopter, or loaned the city of Gary a helicopter. And me and my buddy was walking from the store. My grandmother sent me to the store and said, hey, go get some milk and eggs. Now, mind you, grandma's on a fixed income. I walked. My grandmother gave me $7. I went up there, got the milk, got that, and I had some change left. You know what I'm saying? So I come back, and the helicopter flies over, sees me. Me and my buddy walking. I was like, man, the ghetto bird out here. And we laughed. Cop car speeds down the street, pulls up on me. Another car pulls up on me. They jump out the car. We stop immediately. I'm on the curb. He said, where you going? I said, man, I'm just going back to my, he was like, let me see some ID. So I went, reached and got some IDs, took my bags, right? And I was like, he said, are you supposed to be out? Now, it's not even 8 o'clock. Curfew for me, I think at the age of 17 was not either 9 or 10. I think it was 10 o'clock was our curfew. We couldn't be out past that time. He took the milk and the eggs and threw it on the ground. Milk just burst open, eggs fall on the ground. And I was like, in my exact words, I didn't say yo, but I was like, officer, you have to go over there and get this because my grandma's on a fixed income. And bam, he hit me in the mouth, knocked me down. 2 cops giving it to me, just giving it to me, kicking me and everything. I'm on the curb. Now, we know about curb stomping back in the day. I'm trying to get off the curb so my mouth don't get messed up. And I'm trying to move up. And he was like, he grabbed me like, you trying to resist. He's choking me out. You know what it feel like to be choked? Dude, this cop is giving me the business. So my face is busted up. He said, get out of here. Now, I got off easy because y'all know in history, a lot of us haven't. Now, I told this story before. You know what the first thing a few people asked me? What did you do before? What was your criminal history? I said, wow, ain't that like you? Ain't that like folk? When George Floyd died, this is why I don't respect Candace Owens. And anybody that follow Candace Owens, if you follow her and you like her, that's my opinion. I don't care for the woman. For this one point, when she talked about George Floyd, he said he's not a martyr for black folks. He's not this. She attacked his character. She attacked the fact that, you know, he sold drugs. She attacked the fact that his background, he was a criminal. And the first thing I went to, I said, young lady, I wish I could have talked to him like, young lady, you know what? He may have had a past. He may have been locked up, and he may not have been a good person. He may have been a piece of crap. I don't know. I don't know George Floyd, but I tell you this. Did he deserve to have a knee on his neck for 9 minutes? I mean, we've seen it. How many cops? I mean, dude, from like, as long as you got cell phones, how many people have recorded just in New York alone? Come on, I don't have to keep going through the stories of how many black men lost their lives because these cops have authority. These cops got the right. So I go back to that statement of when these people question me, what did you do wrong? What did I do wrong? What's my criminal background? I'm like, I don't have at the time, I didn't have I still, at this point, never been locked up. I've actually been in holding for a crime that I committed. They let me out. You know what I'm saying? It was like petty theft. They said, man, dude, you stole a pop. Get out of here, man. I was like 16 years old. You know what I mean? They like, matter of fact, they had my grandmother come get me out. They just had me in holding. My grandmother got me up out of there and went on about my business. Hold on, let me get into the comments real quick. Sorry you had to experience that, bro. Right, man. Yeah. There should have been questions. What's that matter? You post, you should not dictate your future, your present. So sorry you experienced that. No, he didn't deserve that. Nope. No one deserves that. The answer is no. You don't have the right to take someone's life, regardless of your background. And that's the thing. That's why, and I said this because a previous job I had, during COVID, when that stuff was going on, there was a comment made by a white woman that said, if black people stop resisting police, these things wouldn't happen. That was one of the reasons why I left this job, to be honest. That was one of the reasons I was like, man, this is a setup. I was like, I feel like she said that to trigger me, to slap the taste out of her mouth. I believe that. Now, let me tell you another thing. There was a question a black guy had. He said, are we looking at the people? Are we really considering the people that we have passing these laws, guarding our streets, and working in our prison system? There's a story. What's this guy named Khalif Browder? Who knows about that story? Khalif Browder. He's from was he from the Bronx, I think. He's from the Bronx. He got locked up. If you don't know about Khalif, just know this: he's no longer alive, and he didn't get killed physically by a cop or anybody like this. But what's going on, Information Man? Tell the truth. I wish I had that button. That is so dope. And y'all need to check out Information Man. Dude, I promise, you know what? You want to learn about topics and stuff like that, what's going on in the community, like for real, go over to Information Man. If you are new here, or if you've been rocking with me for a minute and you haven't heard Information Man, matter of fact, from this day forward, during Black History Month going forward, I will be leaving links to people like Information Man and anybody else that got information that's putting out that needs to be heard. That's because, going back to this man, Mr. Browder. This man was jailed, right? They picked him up. They said it was like a petty theft or something like that, right? They couldn't prove it. This man was in jail for 3 years and they had no evidence. They had no proof that he did a crime, right? He's in the system. But you know what happens because he's in the system? Those that put him in there because it's financially gainful for them to have more blacks. The prison system was created. It's a money pit. It's a money pit. I don't expect, it's crazy. I don't expect videos like this to get a whole bunch of traction, but I do expect it for it to be shared out, because what information I don't have, I can always get it because there's an internet. But then, the other thing I love about Information Man and people like him is they exist. They get information. They see stuff. You know what I'm saying? But going back to Mr. Browder, unfortunately, this man, he was beat in jail. He was fought. He was even the people that was supposed that they are paid. These guards are paid to protect these people inside. Now they are the law and order in there. They're supposed to keep order flat out. However, there's video surveillance of like these correctional officers choking them out, muffling them. I'm like, let me give the example of this. Say you are my prison guard, and I say, man, your breath stink. I hate you. I don't like you, but my hands are cuffed behind my back. Now, I could be talking about your mama. I could be talking about your grandmother. Your grandmother could have just passed away, right? Now, that hits a nerve. Like, hey, man, you ain't talking about my grandmother. Regardless of the fact, as a prison guard, your job is to make sure that I'm safe in this confinement. I am abiding by the rules, and there's no rules that say I can't talk about you and your mom. I can play the dozens because there's no rule saying I can't. Now, if you put in play, hey, you can't be talking about the guards, then okay, I'll talk about something else, whatever. But this guard, regardless of what this man said, Mr. Browder, and based off of listening to him, I don't know him. he did have a statement. When he got out of jail, when they let him out, they released him, right? He said, I don't know what's next. This man literally said on camera, I don't know what's next. And I didn't read anywhere where there was stuff set up for him. I didn't see that hey, you know what, we wrongfully, you could have possibly been, could have went to college, you could have done anything. And here's the kicker. Here's the kicker. He was 22 years old. He took his own life. He hung himself in the Bronx. Now, we're living in a country where our borders are under constant attack, right? How is it that as a taxpayer, and I'm gonna just say this, I don't care if you black, white, I don't care who you are, you a taxpayer. How can we, and I'm not saying you, I'm saying all of us, how can we be satisfied with the status quo? Your tax dollars are being used for people that's coming in the borders, and understand this. I'm not being insensitive to the needs of the people that are suffering, that want to escape their prisons. I'm just saying, Iraq, when Iraq fell and these people, they bringing these people over here, how is it that they're giving them so much money? I mean, more than $250,000 for them to live and to be set up. They're set up for credits, like to have great credit. They're set up to have free education, free healthcare. And then you put in a bag. They got the bag. We working hard for it on a regular basis. Now, this way you take color off the table, because a lot of us that live in let's say your neighborhood, the average is $42,000 a year. The average person in your neighborhood makes $42,000 a year. That means that there's like maybe 2% of the people in there are making six figures. There may be one person that's making $1 million, but for the rest, they're making $18,000 to $25,000 a year. But you gave somebody from another country the bag. You gave them the bag off. They didn't have to do nothing. Oh, but you know what? That's a vote for you later on in life. When it comes time, like, hey, look, hey, I brought you from over here. Wow, really? Imagine that. Let me get into these comments real quick. People think they have the right to talk crazy anyway because they ain't getting popped in the mouth. I've heard, doubt it. Okay, Trey. Much respect. Good to see you. I've been getting on roll now. This is good. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Information, man. I just shared you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I don't have a button, but tell the truth. Hey, I promise that's like probably one of the hardest things I've heard on like any content creator channel is that tell the truth button. I love it. But these are things, and I'm not trying to like escape the whole, the point of me being on here this morning is our history, our heritage, where we have come, right? And I'm thankful to all the people, man, to Tuskegee Airmen, to George Washington Carver. I'm thankful for all these people creating things and making it better for us right now. However, we still haven't made it. We still haven't made it, man. As long as there is like this hatred that's being spread out all over the place, man, I'm like, yo, we got a right. We got a right to have equality. We have a right to have a future and think more for our children. You know what I'm saying? I said this. I was like, you know what's crazy right now? I feel bad for our kid. Like anybody's having kids right now. So like my son is about to have a child. You know what I'm saying? Like we got a grandchild on the way. And the circumstances of how she's getting here and what's going on right now is bad enough in itself. But I want to give this young girl, this young lady, a chance to live. And I'm like, man, I hate for like black kids going forward. What's going to be here for them? You know what I'm saying? Like, our ancestors fought so hard for us to have, like, being able to go. You know what? It's actually coming out today. I did just like a quick little 60-second YouTube short about where we came from and stuff like that. And it's just bouncing back to music. But do you know that there was a time where I couldn't talk to somebody white, like our people, not me, but our people couldn't talk to somebody white and look them in the eyes. I'm going to share something with you that my grandmother told me when I was young. She said, baby, when you get old enough and you get out here and work, you show them white folks that you just as good as anybody else. but you don't argue with them. You don't look them in their face. You just show them how to work, how it's done, and maybe you'll get over in life. Now, my grandmother is coming from a place where she saw segregation. She saw the attacks, the dogs, and all this other stuff. She witnessed this stuff, right? She lived through it. You know, they knew about Martin Luther King and stuff like that. She experienced that. She was a grown woman when this stuff, like all the marches and whatnot, got discriminated against, spit on, all this other stuff, right? So all she knew is like when she before she died was in order for me to make it, and she was just making sure that those same principles, like I'm telling my kids, like, hey, when you go in certain areas, don't do this. She gave me what she knew. Unbeknownst to me, that I'm like, I followed those principles and I didn't give white folks any pushback. But guess what? I'm like, that got old. I said, I'm sick of this. You see, we are all humans, no matter what. Respect, period. Yeah, yeah. I can't pronounce your name. I don't know how to pronounce your name, but welcome in. I never understood hatred out there. I just, it's hard. Is that a bot? Okay, hold on. Let me get you out of here. Boom! Get out of here. Yeah, get out of here. All right. So anyway, um, I just wanted to answer the question. I wanted to scratch that itch a bit. I don't want to lead anybody in the wrong direction. I don't want you to feel a certain type of way when it comes to this, but I do have hold on, let me get out of here. Get out of here, but let me see. Hatred is taught. We need to stop teaching hatred. And okay, so Brooklyn, check this out. Check this out, man. I remember my son went out. Well, actually, yeah. So we go to this church here, right? And they went out in a white neighborhood to play football. They were doing flag football, and it was like the whole church was out there. You know, so you had the youth ministers and all this other stuff. So I get a phone call that's like, yo, the police got your son pulled over, man, out the car on the curb, whatever. And they telling my buddy was like, I'm out here with him now. My buddy's from Chicago too, and he, you know, he's not black. Put it to you like that. He's not black, and he's like, yo, I got him. Now I'm enraged. I'm at a point where I want to go out there and do something, you know. And the problem with that is going out there to do something can cause more problems because I get myself killed as well as my children. And the bad thing about it is, it's like you look at it from my perspective. They see a black face and they automatically think. I mean, you know what's crazy is we're more threatening than a gun. You are more likely to talk crazy to somebody with a gun in your face than to deal with a unarmed black man. And I'm just talking about white folks that fear us. But you got to think, you know, like when you're talking about hatred is being taught, is put out on the news. When you say criminal, right? Think about the 80s. The word criminal was always associated with somebody black. I could be smoking weed on the corner. It's not legal to smoke weed, but I go to jail. Criminal. Wow. Like, yeah, I'm glad I got him off the street. Speaking to the white folks, especially I'm white myself. Brooklyn. So I'd like to, you know what? Brooklyn, I'd like to have you on one day. If you want to, you know what I'm saying? If you want to come up, I'd like to, like this month. And let's talk about it. You saying amen? So I don't want to leave this show with, I wanted to give at least the information of what Black history is. Black history is, you know, it's a list of events that happened and continues to happen. It's just in different forms, man. I just feel like the hatred and the bigotry and all the racism that was shown in the past has advanced, man. It's so advanced now. It's just as advanced as our social media forms, you know, because there are certain words. Think about it. We're into symbols. I wore this shirt on purpose. I wore this hoodie on purpose, man. If I can tell you this, y'all know who I am for the most part. Y'all have seen me. So I've actually came to some of y'all cities And guess what? I've been greeted with hugs. I've been greeted with like, man, I appreciate you, man, dude. You my man. I've been considered a brother. You know what I'm saying? Like, dude, a nephew. I've been, just embraced by the watch community, like the Invicta community, Aragon, like and people around, even some of the micro brands. A lot of you guys have shown me love. However, however, if you put me out in the street, in the neighborhood, if I went to Carmel, Carmel's not too far from me. If I go to Carmel, let's say at 6 o'clock, and I walk down the street and I walk into the gas station or whatever, and I got this on, guess what's gonna happen? 9 times out of 10, or 10 times out of 10, I'm going to be stopped. Now, depending on what I say, could cost me my life, but it may have me detained for a while until they figure out like, who are you? I've been in these situations, man. You know what's demeaning? How many times I've been in cuffs? Now, I've been, like I said, I don't have a criminal record, but I've been in cuffs. Dude, that is the most demeaning thing in the world. I've got cuffed in front of my wife, man. And granted, I got in a fight with somebody. Now, the cop came in, and off top, I'm like, yo, this the situation. He said, shut up, boy. And I said, boy, I ain't your boy. And he grabbed me, put me face down on the thing, and put the cuffs on me. Now, I'm demoralized. I'm sitting there. This is like, you could put this on a t-shirt. You could put this on a t-shirt, man, and I guarantee people will buy it. Because that's like the norm. That's like, yo, man, that's dope, man. My man going to jail. It's not, man. That's not, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy how image. Hold on, let me get into these comments real quick. This information, man. You see, but black people are not the ones that push the hate. That hate comes from towards us, and we simply respond, react to it, and then when they respond to it, then we're told we're ones. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. How does that work? How does that work? I never understood this, man. Let me say this. This is just, I'm gonna put this out here. Hold on, let me see my brother Vic saying something. It doesn't help that proper history isn't being taught in our schools like it was for us old folks. And that's a problem. Vic, thank you, Vic. Hold up, information man, I'm gonna come back to your comment. Vic, you know what's crazy about history? And I said this. History, I said this yesterday on my show. History is somewhat factual, some of it, but history can be altered. Let's take Benjamin Banneker, for example. I didn't get into this too much, but think about it. There was a report that Benjamin Banneker's grandmother was white, right? And they said, now this is what they wrote. His grandmother taught him how to read. His parents were slaves. The only book, I'm going to tell you this, and this is something I read, and I was even told, the first book that was given to us for us to read was a Bible, right? Bible. Now, if his parents knew how to read the Bible, knew how to, you know what I'm saying, whatever the case is, that's good and all, but like, this boy was smart. Benjamin Banneker was smart, great mathematician, so he was taught, those Quakers taught him, so how was he born free? How did they become free? They don't want to tell that truth. They don't want that out there because what does that look like? She's in a family. She gave birth to one of these slaves, and it didn't specify who. And now you got a grandchild that can read. Great. He can read. Based on what the book said, he can read. So I'm just saying, they take history and they tell you, like, you know the main people they tell you about? Martin Luther King is the first person you know about. Sojourner Truth. You know what I'm saying? Like these are the token Negroes. These are the ones that you put that you see pushed out there all the time. You don't know about all the behind the scenes. And what is Black history? Black history is like my man, like look, Tony White doing flossing. He's doing this for a cause, right? Is that considered Black history? Is Be the Difference? Is that considered Black history? And I was on her live last night, man, and there was, I know she announced that there was somebody that's going to buy from her. They picked her to be, like let's make a Black history purchase or whatever the case was. So yeah, history is not being taught properly. And information, man, let me tell you this. For me, I was advised not to talk back to police. Now I'm gonna tell you, I consider myself a proud man. I'm proud of my lineage. I'm proud of where I come from. And it may not be the best, but I'm proud of who I am. Now, at times, I don't feel that pride because of what goes on. But I'll give you a point. I had a cop disrespect me when he said, "Boy, where you going?" And I said, "You can address me as Mr. Wiley. Here's my driver's license." He said, "Who you talking to?" Now, I explained this to somebody, and I was told, "Travis, you need to just stop it." I was like, what? He was like, "You can't be pushing that hate out towards the cop. You know what I'm saying? Let them do what they do." No, I don't agree. I don't personally agree with that. You know what I'm saying? And it just goes back to when I look back through history, and that's just one little simple instance. Have you ever heard of that? Was it the grandfather clause? If your grandfather wasn't born in this country, then you don't own rights to the land. There was all type of stuff that was going on, right? So how can you blame? Now, not saying blacks ain't, blacks do some dumb stuff. I'm gonna say that, but was it set in motion already? If I'm sitting here and I'm established, right? I'm established, and you came up with some cockamamie story as to why my land got to be taken away from me. Now you have just taken not only my pride, you've taken my dreams away. You've taken everything that I worked hard for away. How do you expect me to respond to that? I want somebody to answer that. How do you expect somebody to respond when you take a man's dignity, a man being stripped from his house, a man that was jailed? What was that? Khalif Browder. This man was taken off the street for no reason whatsoever, and then he took his own life. There was nothing else said about this. There's no one out here with a fund for this boy, this young man. 22 years old. He could have been my son. I got a kid that's 25 years old. Exactly, information, man. Hold on, let me get to salute trap. Sean John, what's happening? That is a nice piece. I'm gonna risk just you history is being wiped out. I'm gonna get to that one too. They manipulate his story. They want you to know. Yes, they are. This is going to be awesome month on this channel. Thank you. Thank you. And for those that just walked in, we all do dumb stuff because we all human. Yeah, this is crazy how all this started from a watch. Yeah, I know. Tell me, hey, you know what? That's crazy is because we're having this topic, man. A lot of it is built around time. Think about this too. What is like a symbol of success? What is one of the number one symbols of success? Rolex. Rolex watches is one of the number one symbols of success in this country. Even blacks, I'm going to get into it, man. I'm going to tell you somebody that I was looking up that I was considering covering his story is Spike Lee. Spike Lee, and I'm not going to get into it because I'm still constructing how I want to tell his story. But that man got Rolexes out the wazoo. And I believe his favorite Rolex is the Daytona. Now, when you have one of these watches, right, this shows that we have come from a mighty far place. We're established. We're just as good as our white counterparts. Just like that guy's a content creator saying that a Rolex watch should get you 10 to 15 seconds of time, right? It should get you like to the table. It may not keep you at the table, but it'll at least get you there. And I think there was so much emphasis put in this watch, right? Yes, it starts with a watch, but then let's have a conversation. I brought these things out. I want to show you something. We talk about symbols, right? And I want to give just due and give honor to some people that's making. I think it's probably one of the best things I've seen on YouTube. Last year, I was boasting and bragging that I was like, "Hey, man, I won a Meet Now award." Right? We don't have Grammys. You ain't seen Trap Vision or Information Man or Be the Difference. You ain't seen us on regular TV holding up no award saying, "Hey man, most engaging channel, you know what I'm saying, most entertaining channel, most this, most that." You know what I'm saying? Information Man is a wealth of knowledge, man. He's speaking truth. But you know what? Some people may think like, "Oh man, he's causing trouble." That was a term that Martin Luther King was referred to as. My mother told me that they felt that Martin Luther King was a troublemaker. This was black folk. But I bring these up, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just won these awards, man. Like this from last year. This is this year, right? I bring this up is because you don't have to be perfect at what you do. You have to have heart and trust in your ability to get something done. And they believe that I can create an atmosphere where we can celebrate each other. So I give Meeting and War so much credit right now. This right here, doing this, tell me that's not history. That is Black history. And I'm living it. I get to witness and I get to experience this. This right now is held, and you know what makes history is in the record books. And guess what? This cannot be distorted whatsoever because we're telling the story right now. Now, why is that important? You know what happens when you get an award from somebody? You feel accomplished. You should. You feel special. You feel like, hey, I'm in the limelight for once. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what your regular life is like. You can feel like crap. I don't know, 9 times out of 10, you can feel like crap or whatever. I don't know how your life is. Well, let me get into the comments. Wars have been started over men being disrespectful. It has. It has. Haterism hurts us all. My man Tony Wool's in the building, man. That's another brother, man, I'm celebrating this month. You know what I'm saying? I have to give credit. And y'all, look, Sunday, the man that brought us a Tony Wool will be on my show. And you, come on, this is history. And what other YouTubers? Let me tell you something. Even though, if you just got here, I had announced that I had been digging into our history, into our Black history, so much to the point where I was defeated this morning. I was hurt. Even shed a few tears because I hate to see our faces out there being worse than an animal. So you got what's that organization, PETA, for animals? You got activists that are fighting on a regular basis to save whales, to save dogs in the street, and I'm not saying that these animals it's beautiful to see animals, but there's a push in our country harder for animals and their rights than Blacks. Come on. So just going back to, the questions that my people and the people that I talk to off camera or just on a regular basis, they got questions and they know I love them. This is my answer. Black Heritage Month is, to me, in my opinion, is the roadmap, right? From where we were, being enslaved, having our rights taken away from us, treated like third country citizens and third country nationals or whatever, and seeing some success and having a glimmer of hope. So there are a lot of beautiful things about Black history that I can be proud of, that somebody that look like me. It's also a month that reminds me that, hey, get out the mud, get your butt up and get in gear. Get your butt up and do what you got to do. You have a family to take care of. You have things to do. You don't have time to be wallowing around, because I'm going to tell you something. Love to hate any of the activists, the civil rights activists. I don't, because everybody has their favorites. Honestly, in the Black community, even in the white community, Latino, you have your favorites of who you think is the best civil rights, leader, which next week we're going to talk about that. You know what I'm saying? I got 2 other brothers that are going to be on here with me talking about that. But Black history, for me, my definition of Black history is our lives being told. Not what it was, but our lives being told, because it's still going. It's still happening. It's still happening. You still got, and then murder porn. People are just fixated. When the cops do pull Black folks over and they open fire, I just seen that kid up in Gary, was that last year? Get pulled over for a broken tail light, man. This man lost his life. They go to the passenger side. I'm like, wait a minute. Even if you're going to pull these people over, you address the driver, the young lady, shot and killed him, and she literally, she still got to deal with that to this day. A lot of officers abuse their power, which is sad. Yes, Brooklyn. What it is, what it do. Facts. Tony Wool. Hey, Tony Wool. Dr. Luther King was considered a terrorist. He was. They said that. I mean, when you make the FBI watch list, FBI watch list, and that goes back to Information Man's, like, okay, Martin Luther King responded. He was responding and trying to get in front of segregation and hatred. Man, if a woman gets on a bus and sits down where she sit, and somebody white say, get your butt to the back, I'm sitting here. Man, watch out, man. Watch out. Get out of here. I'm not about to do, no, I'm not doing that. Tony Woe is another man I need to hug it out. We can't wait for that. Yeah, you ain't met. Oh, that's right. You ain't seen him yet. That's crazy. Looking forward to it, Vic. Need that hug. Let me see. Haterism hurts us all. I want to make sure I didn't miss anything. This is crazy. Okay, yeah, got that, got all that. I'm caught up. So yeah. So let me see. All right, Ice Cold. Can I pose this question without people thinking and prompting it, please? Will hatred in any form ever be completely demolished, abolished? What do we have to do to get that? Kyle. Matter of fact, hold up. Let me see. Hold on for a second, bro. Hold on for a second, bro. I want to do something real quick. Now, what I just did was I just dropped the link, man. If anybody want to come up, man, and you know what I'm saying, want to talk about it, have a discussion about it, man, you can. Feel free. This is a safe space here. I will ask that, you know, anybody that comes on or any comments that you have, man, post your comments. If you feel off top that it's going to be disrespectful or whatever the case is, I still want to know what your comment is. I want to know what your questions are. I want to know how you feeling about this thing, because we can have a debate as to how we can move forward. You know what I'm saying? And to answer that, Kyle, I believe it starts with all of us, not just black folks. And then I'm going to say especially black folks, because I feel as taxpayers, those of us that are out here doing our due diligence to make a way for our families and to establish our governments and stuff like that, and we going out voting, because as I'm digging more into these comments, man, into the, oh man, hold up, you, bro, you coming up? Hold up, because it just can't be any. You already know me, bro. Hold on. I got a brother coming up right now, man, and and the look on his face, bro.
This is so dope, a man with a watch looking like he broke the bank, but he promised me he's not. He said he got started from his wife and a pop's watch, face so fat the band had stretch marks. It shines so bright that you can see it from Mars. Man, he blinded me, reflecting headlights from the cars. He's got to be a rapper, baller, or a movie star, but nah, he's too humble to be all of the above. So he said, my name is Trap, oh, cause you bees in the trap. Nah, it ain't even like that, and he tilted his bull's cap. Introduced me to his wife, and she had one too. Wrist game so cold that she could build igloos out of nothing. They legit, they even bless their kids. Man, when they all stand in a row, they look like 4 Giotto rims. Tight like Tim's on a New York summer day. I just gotta be down, but he had to set me straight like.
And we got my man Tony. Whoa! Holy Ghost, let's go.
Go.
Hey,
What it do, family? What it do?
bro, let's talk about it. So right now,
Man,
Kyle had his question was, can I post this question? Of course you can, bro. You know what I'm saying? Can hatred be abolished? What do we have to do to get that? How can we get that out the way? Talk to him.
it can't be, because it's a personal feeling. You can, number one, there's a lack of education and a programming that has happened over hundreds of years. Like, this has been instilled in some people. Some people have been raised like this, and that system is birthed out of evil. So even if the people get straight, evil is there and pushing, and it will push you into hating someone for something else. Like, if we could possibly get past color and heritage, you know, people will hate you for the lack of money you have. People, you know, would hate you for your gender. People would hate you for, you know, where you come from. I mean, think about it. The evil that is had convinced hip hop to hate one coast over the other. And it was like East and West. And then both of them hated the South. And it's like, wait a minute. We already got enough people against hip hop. How is hip hop against hip hop? You know, that's a whole evil will always be here until the day the Lord calls us home. Evil will be pushing in one way or another. So I don't think we'll ever get rid of it. I think the idea is to outnumber the bad guys with the good guys. You know what I mean? If we can get enough people,
that's the trick right there.
Yeah. If we can get enough people loving each other and actually being what they claim, like, you know, a lot of people don't understand, like the KKK, they actually believe they're Christians and they believe they follow Jesus and they subscribe to the teachings of Jesus. They consider themselves disciples, even though somehow or another something got skewed up in there. But if you could just get them to do and be what they claim, they should be the kindest people in the country. So, you know, but like I said, there's a system and evil has infiltrated so many different places, man. You know, I mean, because even like, look at us. Here I am, you're dark brown, I'm light brown. And I mean, there's a lot of hatred between us. Well, not between me and you, but between light-skinned and dark-skinned people. Yeah. So that's pretty much, if you go all the way back to the Bible, how did Jesus get taken down? Well, it was somebody in the camp, you know, and there will always be somebody in the midst of something trying to tear it down, because that's a system that works. So we got to watch out for these systems and programming and things like that. But like I said, if we could just outnumber the bad guys, would be good. Because if you remember, I don't know if you remember Indianapolis, every year there was a rally, the KKK on the State House steps.
Yeah.
Every year. Well, it was, you know, there's always people going down to protest them while they protest. And, you know, one year somebody finally got it right and said, you know, trying to fight evil is nonsense. You know, how about we do this instead? Instead of going down to protest the Klan, how about we go on the other side of downtown and throw a peace rally and have a party, and all the good guys just get together and have a blast. All the colors, all the races, all the genders, everybody. And that's what they did. And it was a phenomenal day. The KKK did their thing on the State House steps, and they were pretty much ignored. And so the hype was gone. Everybody was over here celebrating inclusion and everybody being together, and like perfect. I mean, that's how you win, bro. We just do what we do. We keep coming in here, all these different colors, all these different brothers and sisters, all these different heritages, backgrounds, locations, everything. We keep loving each other. We bring in more folks. We love everybody. We say, you know, we're not going to hate Vic because he's the Magnum man. We're not going to hate Tony because he's the graffiti man. You know, we're just going to celebrate the differences, man. And all of us, you know, that's how we win. We keep showing love.
Okay, so Deidre, I got, you know, hey sis, I definitely got to get you on the show, because honestly, I have to get you this month. You have to come on, because we do have to have a conversation. You made a point, Tony, about like the hatred. You know, I had said this last year. I said, you know, with all of the things that's going on in the world, with all of the, you know what I'm saying, the black on black crime, the blue on black crime, and vice versa. I said, you break it down into these categories to where a lot of content creators on YouTube come here for a number of purposes. Some just like, this is an outlet. You know what I'm saying? It's like, hey, I just want to come on here and do my thing. Some, this is a business, right? You have a lot of people that do
Exactly.
makeup. You got rappers, you got poets, you got so many people. And when I came on, I wanted to matter of fact, here's some Black history for you. These two brothers right here, dark skin, light skin, don't matter. You know what I'm saying? If you ask his kids right now, they'll say I'm the dark version of him. They like, man, you and Pops are just alike, one and the same. You know what I'm saying? And me and his background are
Twins, man.
so similar. He's just older, just a little bit older than me, but like our backgrounds are so similar. He could tell me a story, and I said, bro, who told you about my life? My life is his life. We've experienced a lot, man. Our family
Yeah.
from the South. There are some
Yep.
unknowns that happen in the South with my family. Same thing with his. Point though, here's the
Mm-hmm.
point being. When we started this show, it was called the Invicta Lifestyle. My man Tony Woe said, yo, bro, if you like the watches you want to express, I think you should go ahead and do the channel. You know what I'm saying? He was like, yo, just do it. And the first thing he did was gave me the lightning. He got in there in the lab and made lightning strike. You know what I'm saying? And it was like a worldwide thing. He knew that at one point, you're going to drop that Invicta thing. I'm telling you, you're going to drop the Invicta name. Then it just turned to the lifestyle. Now, moving forward, and I was starting this whole movement. It's just Trap Vision 3D. So you right now, you on TV 3D. That's it. Because yeah, that's where you at. You on TV
Yeah.
3D. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Mr. Invicta. He actually coined that name. And that's what you are, because my identity rests in my name. Trap, T-R-A-P, is actually, there was another P on that when I was little. And then I went from my family started calling me Big Trap. You know what I'm saying? And I've had the name
Trap.
Trap. Yeah, I've had that name since 1979. You know what I'm saying? Like that's before, like T.I. and them talking about the trap and trap house music and all that other stuff. I've carried that name. It's been tattooed on me since I can't remember. It's been 30 years. It's been tattooed on my arm. But the point I'm making is, okay, you're seeing history. And let me show you, and I'm not just showing just because, but this is an Invicta timepiece, a
Mm.
watch. Now, how is it that there's hatred going on in the world? There's black on blue, blue on blue, whatever the case is. And then when you get to this subculture of content creators, I can say, hey, man, I like Invicta watches. And then I have somebody that like Rolex watches say, that watch is trash. You're garbage. You're stupid. You're uneducated because this, that, and the other. Now, you just spew so much hate because I like this watch versus anything else. This is what I like. Instead of you saying, yo, that's interesting. Not my taste, but that's interesting, man. You know what I'm saying? By the way, your name is, who are you? And we're talking. There is hatred being spewed in every orifice of anything, bro. I could say, hey, man, you
Yeah.
know what? I like coming home and I like lighting candles. You like lighting candles? Man, you too grown. You a man or not, man? You some punk or something? You lighting candles? like, like, are you serious? Like, bro, I can't light candles. I can't sit in there and do. I want to do a Calgon bath. Take me away. Does that make me soft? That's just something that I like to do. That may not be your routine, or you may. Hey, why hate? Try it. You may feel like, hey, let me sit back in this tub in this nice warm water, got some candles lit, and just meditate. You may get the best idea of. You may be the next president. You may be the next president of a corporation that's pushing us forward. You don't know. So don't hate me, don't knock me for what I like to do, especially because I walk around and I'm dark skinned, or my brother over here light skinned, or my sister Deidre walks up and you think, oh, she's threatening, you know what I'm saying, because she black, or my Latino brothers, oh, oh man, all the negative connotations that go with them. You know what I'm saying?
Bruh.
All you see them do is lawn care or mechanics. Guess what? I like to have my grass looking a certain way. And if this brother or this Latino was doing it, hey, bro, can you cut
Bruh.
my grass? How much you charge? That's a business. Why are you looking down on it? You know what I'm saying? A mechanic? Dude, I'm gonna
Because
tell you this, man. I know a lot of Hispanics, man, can make something that like I consider them the real MacGyvers. Because they can take chewing gum in a hair clip and have your car running like 0 to 60 in 2 seconds.
hey, brother got to do what the brother got to do, man.
I'm
Yeah.
telling you, bro.
But that's what I'm saying about those systems, though. See, a lot of folks don't realize that, like, we have these systems for a reason. And like, if you ever read the Willie Lynch letters,
Yeah.
the letters are aimed at how to keep a slave, and whether they're real or not, there's the whole conversation there. But if you think about it, it's the same system that they use to keep this entire country apart. Like there's going to be, like, even when it comes down to watches, like, how are we sitting here having hate conversations over a watch?
Bro,
I
are you
mean,
seeing this right here, bro? You
what's
see
that?
what Kyle put that comment he put down there, bro?
No, I didn't see it.
He said, where I live, the Aryan Nation used to do a parade every year on Main Street, and everyone else that was against it would go down and protest. The protesters would be the ones getting arrested. Tell me Aryan Nation is
Well,
not a hate group, bro. Come on, man.
but you have to understand as well, and the thing that people don't want to talk about, number one, is a police officer, like, they had lives before they became law enforcement. And I mean, we know from way back that when the KKK was marching, those were deputies and sheriffs, some of the judges. Like, I mean, there's always been people who had a life and didn't leave that life when they became law enforcement, because if you were a thug before you became a cop, you're probably still a thug, and then you look at it like in 2006, nobody wants to say anything, but I can't remember if it was the FBI or the CIA, one of them noted that there was an influx of white supremacists that were joining the police forces.
Mm-hmm.
Like, now, there's always been those people, some of those people in the police force, but for them to notice enough to put out a report and say, hey, there's an awful lot of white supremacists joining the police force. And then you wonder why. I mean, you see things like, and this is how I'm a common sense man. And you say, well, if black people would stop resisting and just obey the officers and be respectful, they wouldn't die. Okay. Now watch this. I have seen and witnessed and even saw video evidence in other cases of police officer involved shootings, whether it be an accident or they shot somebody in order to protect their lives. There is usually some kind of aid administered to the shooter or to the victim of the being shot.
Victim.
So,
yep.
Like, it may be a guy with a gun who was going to shoot up a bunch of people, and they had to shoot him. And then, they run over and, they put pressure on the wound and they try to help, even though he's going to go to jail and they're putting cuffs on him, he's going to be locked up in the hospital, on the bed. But when it's a person of color, Philando Castile, man who did nothing wrong, sitting in his car, just chilling, was shot. And we watched him bleed out slowly, with a cop had his gun still pointed at this man who's bleeding, shot him with his daughter in the back seat and his girlfriend in the driver's seat. There was a lady who, that lady cop who shot, I can't remember his name, just a couple of months ago. And she jumps on the ground screaming and crying, oh my God, I shot him. I didn't mean to shoot him. I shot him. I didn't mean to shoot him. Okay, well, if you didn't mean to shoot him, why not run down to the car where he crashed, get him out of the car, put some pressure on the wound, make a tourniquet? No. Everybody stood around trying to take care of her, laying on the ground, rolling around, upset because she shot somebody. Shouldn't somebody do some kind of aid to the brother that's sitting over here bleeding to death?
No,
And so if Yeah, if you watch like all of these different things, nobody comes to the aid. Nobody, I mean, you see brothers shot and they just stand there like the bodies lay there.
Yeah.
Why? Because there's no love, there's no respect. You don't even see them as human beings. The body's just laying there in the middle of the street, bleeding out. Some of these cases, these brothers could have been saved. If they were guilty of a crime, they could have went to jail and did their time and been forgiven. We all claim God and we claim forgiveness, but there seems to be no forgiveness for these young brothers and sisters.
Well, you
So
know what?
that's how you can tell the difference.
That brings up a very interesting point. I want to welcome in Prince. What's going on? Mr. Hightower's in here. House of X is in here, man. I appreciate everybody being here right
Prince in the
now, man. You
build,
guys,
Mr.
and
Hightower, what he
Kyle,
do?
you know what's crazy, Kyle? You sparked a very interesting topic, man, because we can go down this rabbit hole of these things that we see on a regular basis, man. When you're talking about the prison system, with the prison system, it should, in theory, should be a place that you spend your time atoning for the crimes that you committed, right? So,
Yep.
in theory, you're supposed to do time for whatever they consider. Like, okay, so if you robbed a grocery store, right? How much damage or whatever, you know what I'm saying? You're supposed to be paying back, for what you've done. So let's say you do 2 years. So in that 2 years, how is the prison system helping you be reintroduced to society? It's not. It has not been. It's never been, because that's not what it's. And it's like, hey, this is an institution that will help this person realize their crime. And I'm like, wait a minute, am I realizing my crime? Because I go back to Khalif Browder. I got his name written down right here. I go back to Khalif Browder. He got
Man,
jailed and he didn't do anything, but he
that was
was
so
beat.
sad.
He was beat down. They was beating this dude up, man. He got punished. It was like, what was his purpose? You know what I'm saying? So how I think, just like anybody that's read the Bible know that Judas' position was to betray Jesus. That was his whole purpose in life. He lived his life all the way. He did whatever he did up to this point. And the unwritten thing is Judas had to love money. Judas had to love being a center of attention or something like that, or obtaining stuff that he don't have, because he cost a man's life for a few coins. Now, you all know the story. He ended up hanging himself or whatever because he felt guilty, blah, blah, blah. But the point I'm making is his whole purpose was to betray Jesus and set this whole thing in motion. Without that, who knows how the story would have turned out. So my question is, for us, knowing history, Mr. Browder's life should mean something for you. That should put the criminal system on notice, like, yo, you just can't be walking around grabbing people up, talking about because you want to make more money. How much more money do you need to have in your bank account? Because the prison system, come on, man. The prison system makes just as much money as cigarettes and porn. Like, dude, y'all running the nation. Like,
Bro.
honestly.
Facts.
Dude.
We even have people say, you're just talking and you're talking about things you don't know. Let me tell you something simple that they do in the prison system. I used to work for an office supply company, and there is actually a furniture manufacturer called Pen Products, because it's from the pen. Like, they are using guys in the prison system. Now, don't get me wrong, they get paid maybe 40 cents an hour, something like that. Exactly. To make filing cabinets and chairs and all these different things, man, that, I mean, like, we were selling for big money. So, like, there's a lot of money being made off of this stuff on the backs of these guys, for 40 cents an hour. And I mean, there's like so many other products. There's so much money being made. I mean, think about it. If you're making millions and billions of dollars, with such cheap labor, would you change anything?
Why would you?
Would you?
Why
Yeah,
would
I
you?
mean, like that isn't that capitalism? Like, I mean,
Hey,
you
look,
know,
that's actually a class. Anybody that's taking business in college, that's a class. We did a like if you were a slave owner quiz, or like that was what we were given. That was a task, and I was like, but it wasn't saying it was slavery. It was like, hey, you got a product you want to put out, and you want to have the cheapest.
mhm.
Like I'm going through like, okay, hold on, I got to do this, got to do that, like, and then at the end of it, you find out like, hey, welcome to 21st century. You a slave owner. I'm like, what? Huh? What you mean? Like, what you mean?
It
I
caught you
was
slipping,
like, I'm
huh?
not a
Yeah.
slave owner. I said, man, my project, I was like, dude, I'm making like $1 billion a year. He was like, yeah, on the backs of others. Do y'all know Idaho potato is made by prisoners? The potatoes that we know and love, right? You know what I'm saying? And there was a lot of people, and I encourage you guys to go watch 13th Amendment on Netflix.
Yeah,
It'll change your life.
definitely.
It'll change your life because some of my information that I do get, I've been looking at this stuff. I'm like, wow, this is crazy. But it goes down, takes you down this rabbit hole, and you're like, this is crazy. Hold on, I'm going to get into this. Mr. Hightower had a comment on here. Arbery shows him breathing for a couple of moments and nobody helping him. Yeah, yep.
Exactly my point. If anybody cared, if anybody saw this brother as a human being, somebody would have administered aid. Even if you were and trust, even if you were the one who shot him, you would have been like, oh my God, I can't believe I shot this man. And you would have been trying to save his life. We see it happen all the time. You know, I mean, it's human nature when you care, when you
Yep,
have a heart,
yep.
when evil hasn't taken over you. Like if a guy breaks in my house right now, I mean, you know what's going to happen to him, but I don't want to see the brother die. You know, I may tie his hands behind his back, but I'm still going to try to help, administer aid and hope he survives and pray that he, goes to prison, does his time and gets better and comes back and does something better for society.
I don't know, bro. You from the east side, man. Your arms is big, man. Like you one hit a quitter. I don't know.
Well, like I said, I don't want him to die.
Hey, wanting and what actually happens is two different things. Hey, Kyle want to know what's on your button, bro.
Oh, that's that lose weight now, ask me how. You know I do the nutrition
Yeah.
and wellness as well as rapping and everything. So everywhere I go and everything I do, I'm buttoned up. I got wristbands, got my watch. Every day.
Prince said you look like Omar Gooden a little bit.
Okay, that's a new one. That's a new one. Well, somebody did say I look like Cuba one time.
Right.
But yeah, hey, I ain't mad. Baby boy, I ain't even.
Hey, right. Prison is it's bad for us blacks. They treat you so bad.
But you know what?
Do.
Bro, hold on. It is bad. It's bad for blacks. It is bad for blacks. But here's the thing. It's bad for everybody. See, there's so much going on right now that even when the last president admitted that the cops kill more Caucasian people than they do black people. That's true. And that's a problem. But they can't say anything. You can't talk about it because if you admit that there's a problem there, then you admit that there's a problem on this side as well. If you admit that there are Caucasian brothers and sisters that have been railroaded up in these prisons, just like the black folks, you can't admit that that happens because then you'd have to admit that it happens over here as well. And so, I mean, like this thing is horrible. It hurts us all. Because imagine this. The Central Park Five.
Yep.
You got 5 young black guys that everybody wants to see hung because they accused them of raping a woman.
Yep.
with no proof, no evidence. They weren't even on that side of the park. Anybody else would have been let go, and they would have continued looking for the raper. But instead, because of political reasons and people making newspaper ads and all these things, they concentrate on the Central Park Five brothers and trying to railroad these brothers into prison, which is another horror story for all of them, but especially one who wasn't even originally arrested, but they found him sleeping in the lobby, and when he ended up being in prison the longest, raped, beaten, tortured by guards and inmates. But how it affects us all is you spent so much time trying to railroad these brothers that you left the rapist in the streets. The rapist was still out there raping women while you're concentrating on these guys. And this happens all the time. Like, you call the cops and you're like, what's taking the police so long? Well, they got some brother hemmed up on the corner that wasn't doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, so all of this affects us all. And there's, man, if you do the research, there are so many Black men sitting in prison right now for rapes that they didn't do. And everybody's like, whoo, that's, you know, not everybody, but some people are like, good, that's a brother off the streets. That may be a brother off the streets, but guess what? The rapist is still out there raping women. You know, and you look at all the rape victims through time and all the men who wish they could have protected their women. And some of those rape cases, some of those rapers would have been in prison and would have been caught if you wasn't trying to make sure that the crime was pinned on this one Black guy who served 40 years. And this is just a couple of weeks ago, 40 years, and just got out of prison for a rape he didn't commit.
4 years.
Never found the other rapist. So he had 40 extra years to keep raping people. He may be dead and gone now. We don't know. But how many women were raped by that guy? So how you see how this evil just is perpetuating, and it just keeps rolling, evil for evil. Like we really gotta.
I think you know what? In my opinion, I think we actually become desensitized to like that part of hatred, that part of racism. There's even movies, Karen. I haven't watched it, but like that became a thing. That's like a running meme. And now there's a new meme now where I saw on TikTok where they're acting as if somebody's breaking in the house. Black guy calls the police and they was like, hey, could you help? And it was like, yeah, we're sending cops. They're like, by the way, what color are you? It was like, and the Black guy looks left to right, was like, I'm white. And they say, okay, who's the greatest boxer of all time? They say one of the Paul brothers or whatever. And they said, okay, and they asked him another question and he answered the question correctly. And then they say, okay, say the word ask, right? And he was like,
oh,
because they say we asking, like, y'all out here murdering people, you asking people to death. Like, I don't know, I know how to ask somebody something, but I don't know how to asking. So that is a running me, like, it's like a Kevin Hart special, like Laugh at My Pain. You know what I'm saying? You have to laugh through the pain of life, laugh through the pain of our history, which is current day, which is we always go through it, man, because like we've been in here, what, an hour and 38 minutes, and we're talking about, like, the original point of this video was I wanted to give people information on like what Black history is, what my purpose of telling these stories and telling you, like, I give you some background. You want to talk about, and I'm going to, I haven't talked to him yet, but I want to have some military people. And Tony Wall was military, you know, he was in the Army. And I want to have, you know, Black men and women on the channel and tell their perspective of being in the military, because I have mine and I'll address it when that time comes. So next week I want to dedicate to, you know, talking about military and stuff like that. At least 2 or 3 days out the week, talking about military. And then I'll have some other brothers on. But the point, like what we're talking about is, I agree with you, bro. If we had more people doing the positive or just doing the groundwork, more people up in arms about, because I'm gonna just say it like 100 is, I don't see how my tax dollars are being used for stuff that I don't too much care about. I don't agree with you giving $300,000 to somebody that's come from overseas. And if you look in California and all the poverty, I think California right now is like one of the biggest areas where there's more poverty than anything. You know what I'm saying? Like people are losing jobs left or right. And I'm like, well, you know what? I remember back in 2005, we had a system where the government was paying for education. So they were putting out millwrights, they were putting out carpenters, they was putting out electricians, and they paid for all of that.
Mhm.
But you know how you get that money back? They become taxpayers. They actually
Exactly.
they push us forward. They build new cities, they build new bridges, they widen the roads. You know what I'm saying? So like Indianapolis
Mhm.
wasn't actually built to house over 800,000 people originally. Now, if you see, they're widening the roads, they're building new houses, new structures going up because they're trying to catch up. They knew this back in 2006,
Mhm.
actually 2004. They were like, oh, wait a minute, the city is growing faster. But guess what? The jail rate here is ridiculous. And do you know there's over 100,000 people here that can't read past an eighth grade level? A lot of them are in jail. 20% of them
Yep.
are black. 20% of them are black and they cannot read past a eighth grade level. So that's telling me that when you say, "Hey, I put my boots on and my pants one leg at a time," I pull my laces tight and I got out there and worked every day. Some people was not afforded that opportunity to even know how to do that. All they know is hustle. All they know is, "Hey, I got to get it the best way I can." Our government does not like produce a way for us to advance unless you are a certain. They be like, "Hey, there's only a certain amount of blacks." So, Tony, I'm gonna hit you with a question. When you think of successful black people, who's the first person coming to mind? Just off top, who's the first person?
The first person, Oprah
That,
Winfrey,
that was
James
mine.
Earl Jones,
That was
uh,
so. Oprah Winfrey was mine. So go ahead.
um, Magic Johnson.
Okay.
And it's so funny because like I know so much, so many, I know a few more very well off people who aren't actresses and actors and ballers and things like that, but those are the ones you hear so much. So that's the first thing that pops into your mind, you know. But we've been, man, brother, we've been having rich black folks since I mean, when you look at the story of Black Wall Street,
Okay.
Son Wallace, name shout, Son Wallace was one of the brothers who owned land and oil. He was half black, half Native American, and there was a lot of oil and a lot of different things out there. You know, that was one of the communities. When people say black people just need to do this and just need to pull themselves up out of bootstraps and just get
Right. Right.
educated and start their own businesses. Well, guess what? We've done it hundreds of times, but each time we've done it, they burn the town down.
And put water on top of it, but that's for another topic.
I was about to say, don't forget about the underwater towns. And you want to see something crazy, go to YouTube and look up underwater towns.
Ooh, it's
It
in New
is
York.
amazing.
Ooh, New
Look
York.
look up the land grabs and how
Ooh.
there's the laws right now. Look up the Geechee community on the East Coast and how there are people running in and stealing, still to this day, right now in 2022, stealing their land from them. There are so many systems and so many things like redlining and all the things that you've heard about is only the tip of the iceberg. There's
Mm.
so much more. You didn't even realize that Central Park was built on top of something.
Oh yeah.
It was land snatched from people.
Yeah.
And we know that that's not even just a Black American thing. It's Native Americans. There's so much that is going on in this country, and that would make you angry. And I would just, I want to shout out to all the people of color and even my Caucasian brothers and sisters who've been through some stuff in this country. I'm asking you, don't hate the country. Don't hate America. You can be angry at some Americans, but don't it's like being in your household. You had a house, mom and dad with 6 kids. Dad started doing something crazy. Mom put him out. Don't be mad at the household. Don't be mad at the family because dad did something crazy. Be mad at dad,
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I say about America. Don't hate America. Be mad at some of the people running it. Be mad at some of the people operating in it, but don't hate America. America, the idea of America, what America's supposed to be, is beautiful because this is the one place where cultures, races, people, everything, language. I mean, think about how many different languages it took to make up what we speak. Like we don't even speak the Queen's English. Our English is mixed up with Latin and French and I can't even think of how many different words that we use that come from other places. This melting pot is a beautiful situation. Unfortunately, we just have some evil folks that don't want to see it as a melting pot. They don't like gumbo. Yeah.
I like gumbo.
I do too.
So
yes, sir.
yeah, man. So you know what? Okay, then I was looking through the comments. They was dropping names in there. Wizard Kelly, Madam C.J. Walker, which I will be doing a report on her as well.
Mm-hmm.
I want to leave this chat just letting people know that what you'll be seeing on here throughout the month will be information. We will be celebrating, and we will be acknowledging those sad times in history. Be it way back in the day, the coach from the Dolphins, the situation is currently going on. The fact that Scottie Pippen aired some dirty laundry out on Michael Jordan. Yeah, I want to talk about that. I actually want to, address that because I'm talking about sad moments in history. And I'm a Scottie Pippen fan. I like Jordan. I grew up in Chicago. I literally went to the games and watched them play. It was more than just watching basketball. That was a legacy. That was our history. That was something that, like, not just Black history, Coach. You had, Michael Jordan will go down as the GOAT. And I know people argue, like, all right, who's the greatest between Michael Jordan and LeBron James? I'm going to tell you like this. I've even gotten involved in those arguments, and I refuse to do it now because guess what? Michael Jordan was great for our era, even up to this point, because his shoes are still selling out, right? LeBron James is good for his era when he came up. So my kids, they love LeBron James. There's some grown men that love LeBron James, but they still two great men. You take them off the table as far as NBA, and I know LeBron James right now has a school that he's trying, like he bought a school or something like that, and he's trying to move the needle forward. All I'm saying to this, and not arguing who was better, who did the most, they have their place in history. They have done what they had to do. And the sad thing about it is the fact that Scottie Pippen, the way I read some little excerpts, he aired out some stuff. He said some things that I'm like, you should have addressed this way back. You know what I'm saying? Like, you waited to now. I don't know. Some are saying he's desperate. He want to be relevant. I don't know what the case is, but I know it's a blemish on our community. It is. Yeah. Now, I'm not about to throw away my Scottie Pippen jersey or my Scottie Pippen Nikes. I'm not about to do that. Some people are like, oh, I'm burning my jersey.
We're forgiving. So that, I think that's what Scottie is forgetting. Like, we have to have the same grace and mercy for people that we want God to have for us, and that we want other people to have for us. Because, I mean, hey, when I was coming up, 16, 17, 18, bruh, I was no good. I was no good. Had a lot of issues. When I went to Uncle Sam, and Uncle Sam helped me work out a lot of those issues. God put Uncle Sam in my life. And, but there are people right now that'll tell you, like, we don't trust Tony for nothing. We wouldn't let Tony knock at our front door because they're talking about the early 90s Tony. Yeah. They don't know the Tony now. See, the Tony now, everybody's like, you wouldn't? Man, Tony would be in the crib washing your dishes. You know,
What's up, Dave?
but it's that grace and mercy that we forget about. And then not even, I mean, sometimes you have to love people for who they are. It took, Michael Jordan being the way he was is what helped him become the greatest. Unfortunately, some of it's ugly, but
Yeah.
you wasn't complaining when you were winning those championships,
Ooh.
But then when we come to the, I hate the comparison game where, Kobe's better, Mike's better, LeBron's better. Let me tell you something. It took Magic Johnson to make a Michael Jordan. It took Michael Jordan to make a Kobe Bryant. It took Michael and Kobe to make a LeBron. Let's not compare the brothers. Let's just say they don't.
Right.
I mean, because what should happen is even your son should be seeing what you're doing right here, and he should take what you're doing and then build on top of it and take it even further. So that's like things like LeBron should be considered the best right now because he's standing on the shoulders of Mike and Kobe. He should have, if he did his homework, learned every move that Mike did, watched Kobe learn every move that Mike did and imitate those moves, and then create his own moves. And he'll take all of those moves, imitate them, and then create his own. So he should be like one of the best players. I mean, think about that. He didn't even have to create. He could have just took what they gave him and beat a bomb. But no, he went on and tried to do his own thing as well. So it makes him even better. So, I mean, like you said, Sunday.
Deidre said he's just trying to sell books. I get that, sis. However, man, I just feel like that's a blemish on community. Like now, Scottie Pippen represents himself, but at the same time, he do represent black people as a whole because he's a public figure. He was a part of a dynasty. You know what I'm saying? And he's literally, this book is literally, you're not going to dismantle Michael's legacy. You can't. That book cannot degrade what Michael is right now. However, it has made you look like a complete fool because all of the people and I'm saying everybody that's been covering this story is looking at Scottie like you an idiot, you stupid. I'm not messing with him. And I think Jordan had finally made a comment. I don't know what, a week or two after the book had been signed or whatever the case was, and was like, "That's it. I'm not messing with him." So you didn't burn a bridge. You blew the town up. Now you're alienated.
But
you know what I'm saying? Like,
here's the worst part about that. And so I'm sorry to interrupt you, bro, but
no, you're fine.
The bad part about this isn't even Scottie Pippen. The bad part is that there's a whole spill the tea community that's going to pay a lot of money for this. And so, like, a man is having a moment where he feels he needs to spill all these beans and do all this stuff. Hey, people get in moods, people get in situations, and it may be a money thing. It may be that somebody came to him and was like, "Man, we'll give you $5 million just to talk trash about Jordan." And Scottie might need that money. But the problem is, wait a minute. If they're going to give him such and such amount of money in order to tell all, that must mean there's a whole bunch of people out there that like rumors, gossip, and trash enough to buy it. And that's where the problem is. Like, there's always going to be someone who tries to do something crazy. But why are people paying to watch this person do something crazy? Why are people putting money in on it and making, I mean, think about reality television. Like, people getting paid to be messy. And why does it work? Because the people love it.
People like messy.
Yeah.
Again, I made a comment about this. I honestly expect this one, and until I'm proven wrong, I expect this video, this live, to get maybe 54 views. Maybe. You know what I'm saying? And the people that are supposed, that needed to hear it, they're here. But my expectations of stuff, and it's not because people not interested in the truth, people not interested in history and just knowing about other people. It's not
Mm-hmm.
popular. So YouTube is like, hey, the analytics or that bot or whatever they got looking at it like, yo, there's too much facts going on, too much realism, it's too much, you want to turn some positivity. We don't need positive stuff on here. We don't want that positive structure because positive don't get it, you know what I'm saying? What they say, sex sells. You know what I'm saying? I need booties and
Oh yeah.
seats, so I need people on there shucking and jiving and doing all this other foolishness. Because I guarantee you, and I was inclined to do this. I was gonna start another show called In Between the Cracks, and I was just gonna be talking mad trash about like companies and businesses like going after celebrities. I was gonna do that, not to what I'm
Mm.
saying, but one thing I'm glad that stopped me was that what was that Cardi B sued that chick. Now that chick had put
Oh
out
yeah.
some false information, but and I wasn't gonna put out false information. I was gonna put like, hey, you know what I'm saying? You seen this brother did XYZ, it'd have been the truth, but I'd have put my own little, you know what I'm saying, my spin, my opinions on it. And I saw that, I said, you know what? I may not want to do that because I ain't got $4 million to get no celebrity. And I think the one of
Yeah.
the clauses was she couldn't file bankruptcy on it. Like you gotta pay that $4 million.
Mm-hmm.
I said,
Well,
man,
I gotta go, bro, but I wanted to say one
go ahead,
last
bro.
thing.
Yeah.
And I wanted to say that my favorite person for Black history is Travis Wiley. I'm gonna tell you, I want to thank you, number one,
I
for
appreciate
being
you, bro.
there for me through thick and thin, so many situations. We've been riding together, man. But I have witnessed you throw so much love and try to do so much, for other people. Even down to this show, you always trying to shout out somebody else. You're always trying to do something for somebody else. I mean, yeah, I wish that the crowd could see half of the things that you've done just in, I think I met you in what, 2011, 2012?
2012, yep.
And just the amount of stuff that you've done in the last 10 years, man, is just awesome, man. I know that God put you in my life. I saw how he put you in the life. All those kids in the basketball ministry in NAP showing, not just the kids in the church, but showing love to the entire West Side coming through there trying to play ball and putting ministry first and praying and doing, giving them some information up front, and then not just standing around and watching them play. You on the court with them and you interacting with them. So, man, hats off to you if I had one.
Appreciate you, bro.
Hair off, I guess.
Appreciate you, bro.
I thank you for being who you are. I praise God for you, man. And I'm praying that this show, not even just this episode, but the entire Trap Vision television line of products just takes you to an ultimate level where this is where you are for a living,
Thank you.
and your merchandise and everything is flying off the shelves, man, because this is where we need you right here. We need you doing things like this and blessing the people. So I love you, bro.
Love you too,
Love
bro.
to everybody watching. Love to everybody out there. I got to go do some business. So.
Okay. All right, bro. Be blessed, man. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. All right. We gonna get out of here, man. This dude almost had me in the tear mode. I'm glad I got this hoodie on. Y'all can't see my emotions right now. Only in our community do you see us competing and comparing. Crab in the barrel mentality, yes, but it's a systematic issue that plays against us against each other because they fear us becoming united. Which I'm united with 757, man. I listen, she already know Deidre is my sister for sure. This is fascinating. Thank you. Thank you. Uniquely lavish. When you listen, when you have a uniquely lavish come in and make a comment or say hi, whatever the case is, man, it's a blessed day. Thank you for being here, sis. This has been great. Amen, Tony. House of X. That's another Black History couple. Black History moment right there. House of X. I'll say you guys are groundbreaking because you are very supportive. I joke and laugh a lot, man, but just to see how much work you guys are doing, man. So again, if you guys are following House of X, now let me just put this out. if you're not following somebody that I say, hey, you need to go check these people out, and it's not for you, it's not for you. I'm not telling you to go sign up under House of X, you know what I'm saying, or become a member, or like Leo, you know what I'm saying? It's your boy Leo. He has a channel. He does gaming and stuff like that. He's playing older, like the X-Men games and stuff, old wrestling games. The point of shouting somebody out on here, like I see Unboxed, he just made a comment. If I say, hey, go check these people out, the Hume's Empire, go check these people out, and you don't, it's not for you, don't feel obligated to sign under these people. Don't. Look at it. But I will ask one thing. Talk about it. Share it. Be like, hey, you know what? Because in a nutshell, if you want to talk about Black history, because the channels I just mentioned are Black, right? I follow everybody, you know what I'm saying, whether they're Black or not. But because it is Black History Month and House of X is somebody that I consider like, these are like friends, this is like family, you know what I'm saying? I can talk to them offline. I don't have to be on YouTube to talk to them. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to talk, you know what I'm saying, talk to Unboxed just through YouTube. There's a number of people that I communicate with outside of this. They are content creators, they are YouTubers, they are Black YouTubers, they are whatever the case, they are entrepreneurs. And I just say, give them a look, check them out. If you like it, subscribe to them. If you like their membership, go ahead and put some money in their pocket, man, and they'll give you something in return. You know what I'm saying? The same thing for, you know, the Hume's Empire. You want to see a Black couple and they're raised, this is their first child together. You know what I'm saying? Go back and look at it. If you have yet to check it out, if you just visiting this and you haven't, so it was under D&Q Experience, but they're the Hume's Empire now, and just watch their life. I'm not going to tell you to go to one particular show. I'd much rather you go from the beginning and work your way up, however long it takes. Binge it like you do Netflix. You know what I'm saying? But these are moments in history that matter. You know what I'm saying? And again, I said this earlier in this video. I don't want to come off as a Black Lives Matter movement. You know what I'm saying? All lives matter. True enough. True enough. But Black lives, as me being a Black man, I've seen how our families, our community has been impacted by the hatred of this country. And it's crazy. I was listening to President Putin talk. He was talking crazy to our current president about, he said, hey, you got the nerve, and I'm just paraphrasing, you got the nerve to tell me about my business, and you still, like, the Black community still under the foot of the man, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got racism in your country that's running rampant, and you telling me how to run mine. And I heard that, or I read that, and I'm looking like, man, that's crazy how the rest of the world is seeing in America, one of the richest nations on this planet, the place that people are trying to escape to all the time for a better place. It is crazy how the Black community is still, it's just degrading all the time. It's like it's falling apart. You know, Deidre, going back to your comment about Scottie Pippen, it is a shame that what you do for money to get your story out there. You know, I mean, you are obligated to tell your truth, but then, you know, the truth can become messy. You need to find a way to actually put the truth out without degrading us as a people. Yes, it happened to you, and I'll tell Scottie Pippen to his face. I think Scottie Pippen is one of the most phenomenal basketball players in history. He holds his title as being one of the best. If it wasn't for him, Jordan and the Bulls, they wouldn't have made it to where they got to today. They wouldn't have the legacy. He was a part of that dynasty. But you are not the team. That comment about him being better than Michael, I'm like, dude, you said it says compete. We always competing with each other. Stop it. Stop it. Because you know what? Am I competing with House of X on YouTube for views? No, I'm definitely not competing with House of X for views. If anything, I want to see House of X, boom, blow up. I'm going to tell you somebody else. Vern's Junk Closet. I would love to see Vern's at the end of this year. I don't know how. I'm going to tell you something. Matter of fact, this is the book that was given to me by our church, and 40 days of prayer, right? And it teaches you in here to pray impossible prayers. My prayer right now, and I'm putting this out in public, I pray that Vern's has 100,000 subscribers by the end of this year. That seems highly unlikely, right? But that's my prayer. That's what I'm asking God to do for her channel. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel she is very much needed in the community. She, like, I met her through, and she's another Black History moment. I met her through COVID. So be it that COVID has been detrimental, especially in New York. Vic could tell me, I think it was like over 150,000 people died. What, 2020? Um, we we needed somebody like Burns. Okay, all right. We got Carter's E. I met her same time. We need somebody like her. She is. I think she's a great actress. I think she speaks well. She's fun. She's encouraging, and she's supportive. House of X, extremely supportive. This is a channel that should have more right now. I think House of X should have more than 10K. I think that, like the Hume's Empire, just based off of what I've seen, they should have more than 50K right now. Honestly, I'm just saying, and this is a prayer that I pray that we have like unlikely numbers. So I pray that the Hume's Empire go to a point where he can use it, like this could be income for them. Why not? Why not? You know what I'm saying? Like, the everyday, nada, just dealing with work. Okay, y'all talking. Uh, why not think like that? You know what I'm saying? Why can't Uniquely Lavish be featured on magazines? Why can't she be in the public's eye under as an independent artist YouTuber? Not being signed to anybody, but just having the right to say, hey, she generated enough money to where she can handle her own business and put out whatever content. And then you know what's in turn? If Uniquely Lavish went and made, let's say, $25 million on this format, guess what she's going to do? She's going to employ people. She's going to have to employ people, because making that kind of money, you have to have people help you with cameras and stuff like that, getting her makeup together, telling the stories, going out there doing research to bring her information to put more content out. She can hire people. She can hire people straight out of college. I can do the same thing. Dude, I'm never going to abandon my love for watches. And guess what? Love or hate Invicta, this is for anybody that is a Cartier fan, a Rolex. Look, I like watches in general. Invicta has a product that I consider to be outside the norm. You know what I'm saying? I like it. You know what I mean? And if I'm making millions doing this, guess what I'm going to be talking about? Watches, and how it has impacted people's lives. And then we'll have stuff for other people. You know what I'm saying? I can employ people. House of X, entertainment. Come on, man. This is what they do, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever dreams and goals that they have, if this becomes their natural source of income, then why not? We've seen it out here, and again, I will never, for this month. And I told D this, Mr. Unbox. I told him this. I don't apologize for this month at all. And of course, I want to, I'm going to continue to preach peace and for us to connect together. But this month is reserved for Black heritage, and we talk about it. I don't apologize for that. Now, if anybody feels that it's offensive, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you, because I'm going to put the content out. I'm going to put the information out as I get it, as I learn more about it. And I ask that you guys pray for me as I do it, because it takes an emotional toll when you look up this history. If you care about human beings, and not taking Black off the table, but if you just care about human beings and the impact that we can have, then you should understand. Reading about a man being beat half to death in front of his family just because of the color of his skin is heartbreaking to me, and I get emotional and stuff. That's why I said in the beginning of this program, I wanted to quit. I wanted to say, you know what? I'm not doing Black History Month. I would. But then, you know what immediately came? You know how disappointing my ancestors would be if I just said, nah, I can't do it because I can't deal with my emotions. That saying, get out your feelings, I got to get out my feelings. And as far as that, now I'm going to continue having my feelings about it, but I'm not going to allow it to slow me down. Hold on, let me get into the comments real quick. This is exactly what we're asking and talking about last night. It's always competition, even when people say it's not. Tell the truth. Information man. Information man. If y'all know who that is, man, go over there. You do you, bro. Period. You know what? Period. Yes, tell the truth, man. And we have to. People do say It's not a competition, but it has been. We get the shortest month of the year, so no offense should be taken. It shouldn't. It shouldn't. Heritage, American heritage is intertwined with Black, Hispanic, Indian descent, Portuguese. There's a lot. I mean, it is like, I know Vic said he allergic to gumbo, but this has been a mixing pot. There have been a lot South Americans. There have been Jamaicans. There have been so many people that contributed to the evolution of the American way. There's a lot of people we can credit to the American way. A lot of different races, a lot of backgrounds. This month just happened to be Black. So we're going to continue with that. Let's continue to support our people. Tonight, I'm going live again. We will be talking about, Black-owned businesses and stuff like that. And I do encourage you guys, if there is a YouTuber or a content creator or somebody that's associated or just a Black business, I will encourage you to at least buy one item from them this month. Regardless, I don't care what the price is. I don't care if Vern's got some lotion butter or a candle, whatever the case is. Go over there and buy something. Joy from Be the Difference. She has a catalog of stuff, man. Shop with her. I got this shirt on underneath another Black-owned company, and I got some socks from her. I bought some socks, and I'm telling you, like, all of her merchandise come with a card and like a diamond on it, man. It's the best thank you for purchasing from me little thing I've ever seen. Also, Invicta Vets. I got this from Invicta Vets. Go over there and purchase from them. You can find them on Facebook. Just type in Invicta Vets, or you can actually put invictavets.com and go and look at the verbiage on there, man. There's a lot of, and at the end of this, I don't have it set up yet, but I'm going to put a list of everybody's web page or where you can find and to buy merch. You know what I'm saying? I'm actually an affiliate of Amazon. That, they give you so much time to do some stuff, whatever. But, I launched that, I announced it, and, it's one of those things like, hey, you either gonna buy or you're not. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you do purchase from Amazon, you can purchase under my links. I do have that available. But again, sometimes when it comes to the Black community, the Blacks that are out here doing their business and trying to like make ends meet, I hear that term, making ends meet. I want to be above that. I want us to be above that. I want our dreams, like what Martin Luther King dreamt. I want that to, like we have to fight hard for that dream. He was just a vehicle that got us here. That vehicle may have the tires may have been flattened or may have been destroyed, the engine may have locked up, but that don't mean there's not another vehicle that we can't get in and continue that dream of being. Now, this country's gonna be what it is. Tony already put it out there. Evil's there. We can't do anything about that. But if we got more of us supporting each other, man, how could you break that bond? I created a great bond with a lot of you guys, man. I consider Vic's not Black. I consider him a brother. I just found out today Brooklyn boy is white. And I come in to a chat and see Brooklyn's name. Like I always say, well, Brooklyn, that have no problem. It makes no difference to me what the color is. But Brooklyn is always welcome here. I don't care what skin color. I don't care what creed you have, man. And I've very often, very seldom do I have somebody that's like completely disrespectful on the channel. You may have a bot here too. I have run in with people that somebody told me a comment about, me liking Invicta that watches trash, and they got into an argument with, some of my content, the people that's commenting. That happens every so often. That was like 3 months ago that happened. But I would say it happens maybe 5 times out the year, out of a whole year. So I can't really count. It's like a gnat really bothering. It's just like, get out of here. Life goes on, man. You got to have thick skin, so to speak. But in this case, man, we're going to talk about the skin that we're in, which is Black American, Black African American, Afro American, Black, whatever you want to consider it. Because I know some people are like, hey, I'm Black American. I wasn't born in Africa. So, hey, whatever you go by, we're celebrating our heritage. We're going to celebrate this. So if anybody, if you're available tonight at 7 o'clock, I will have MyBlack Univ3rs3 on. I met him through Kayla Mars Star, which is another. I'm going to put all that stuff down here. So thank you guys for being here. I know you guys are at work. Some of you guys, I'm snowed in. it snowed last night. They say it's not safe for us to be on the roads. My job texts me like, yo, don't even worry about coming in. Yo, job, your boy wasn't getting out there no way. I was not going out there, man. I was like, no, sir. So keep pushing, bro. We all appreciate you and support you, and I love you, sis. Y'all, look, Mally, Lil JoJo, all y'all, man. And guess what? Mally's gonna be featured on here. He gonna have a little clip. I got something for Mally. Yeah. So anyway, family, thank you. You know what I'm saying? And y'all already know, man, until this evening, that's when the lightning strike is gonna hit next, man. Y'all be blessed.